Hello, good afternoon. A quick informal video from me today. Think of this as a chat down the pub with an old pal. I'm dressed like a tramp because I'm working on an old car, but in between I spotted this and I had to share it. Used EV prices hit record low. Despite that, used EV sales are apparently booming. Now this is coming from a very pro EV publisher, Current Plus, and it is equal parts amusing as it is informative. So let me step through the article for you and we'll pepper in a bit of discussion as we go, shall we? Let's see if it's full of truths. Used car data analytics. Analytics firm Market Check has revealed that the price of used EVs in the UK have plummeted in the past 2 years as sales continue to rise. The average listed price of a used EV in the UK has fallen by over £7,000 between May 23 and May 25, falling from about £30,000 to £23,000, a reduction of almost 25%. Prices have fallen steadily each month in this period, generally dropping between 2 and 3% each month. Meanwhile, Market Check's analysis has suggested that the number of used EVs sold each month has increased by 180% between May 23 and May 25, from 7,000 to 19,000. This is a common theme you tend to find with articles like this, isn't it? They hit you with big growth percentages. Could it just be that this growth, though, is because there's more of them? Imagine that. Business deals, lease deals are being returned. People are opting not to buy the car, understandably, because they've depreciated so much. So they're handing them back and they're finding their way onto the used market. Could it be that? Get this. These figures support an increasingly large body of evidence that suggests the second-hand EV market is booming. So because there's more of them, that somehow makes the market booming. I mean, if I had a big pile of manure sat in front of me, let's say I had 100 piles of manure sat in front of me, if I discount them enough, some farmer will probably come along and buy it. It doesn't make my pile of manure any better though, does it? And it certainly doesn't mean the manure market is booming. Data from the SMMT showed that the sales of second-hand battery electric vehicles, BEVs, rose by 57% to hit a record 188,000 units in 24, while sales of second-hand plug-in hybrids and hybrid vehicles are also up 32% and 39% respectively. The SMMT noted that the proportion of battery electric vehicles sold in the second-hand market reached a high of 2.5 last year. I think that's market share it's talking about, a record that was beaten in the first quarter of this year when second-hand BEVs hit a 3.3 share of the market. It is market share they're talking about, with sales rising by 58.5%, another big percentage. As reported yesterday by Current Plus, the most recent EV Outlook report from the analyst Bloomberg has noted the impact of falling EV prices on uptake by comparing the differences in EV prices and uptake rates across the world. The report notes that China is the only large market where EVs are, on average, cheaper to buy than comparable internal combustion engine cars. As such, China's EV market, I can't quite believe it's going there at the moment, will be larger than the total market for all vehicles in the US within the next year. The report also predicts that around 22 million passenger EVs will be sold this year, up from 25% from last year. Hold the bus. I mean, yes, China may very well have a massive EV market, but it is very quickly garnering an ethical reputation like Jimmy Savile. I mean, you look at their Jimmy Savile. You look at their companies over the last couple of years, 400 of them have gone bust. They've done a Fisker there, basically. They've came out of nowhere. They've started releasing cars, well, some of them didn't even get past the conceptual phase, to be fair, and then they've gone bankrupt. They've gone belly up, they've disappeared and left customers on the lurch. Why anyone would take the risk, I don't know. And you look at some of the bigger ones, BYD, for instance, who are buying people attending their reviews, they're buying good reviews, they're suing anyone that dares say a bad thing about them. Why would anyone want to go buy one of these cars? Because it's cheap. But then it being cheap, well, that's part of the problem, isn't it? Because they'll sell you a nice, cheap, heavily discounted EV in order to beat and be cutthroat against the next Chinese competitor. And that car will come with a bit of warranty, assuming the company's going to stay alive long enough to actually honour that warranty, assuming it doesn't go under. So why then would you go off and buy a used EV that could have a depleted battery, a battery reaching end of life that could end up costing the whole car over again or writing the car off? This doesn't make sense, does it? used EV prices, they're not going to get any better. Anyway, let me finish this article for you. A recent report from Cornwall Insight notes that the prices of EVs are presenting a major barrier to the UK's decarbonisation goals. Whilst the report focuses on the new EV market, it notes that new EVs cost about 40% more than comparable petrol or diesel vehicles, something that Cornwall Insight states is undermining the environmental and financial benefits of switching to an EV. So what that article's telling us then is don't worry about the used EV market. It's absolutely booming, just like my manure business I've got going over here. And China has got the answer for all our problems. They're going to bring us cheap Chinese EVs that are just going to be fantastic. They're not going to do a Fisker on us and disappear overnight at all. I'm certain all the service and all the parts you'll ever need are going to be available right at your fingertips. And you best believe it, they're going to come to the UK in their droves, because I'm like a broken bloody record saying it at this point. You look at the USA, you look at Europe, they've got tariffs in place against these cars for a reason. It protects their local car market, it protects local jobs. Meanwhile, the UK is just handing it off to China. It's not going to get better, is it? Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please do hit subscribe, hit like if you enjoy this, want more like it. I'll see you for the next one.